All right. It's go time. We are live. And just in case you didn't know, I like to drink during these things. Josh is in the house. Sorry, Josh, I had to change shirts. I think you know why. I think you get it. Amy's here all the way from Nashville, Tennessee, outside of Nashville, Tennessee, and Cade and Casey. Everybody's coming. There's everybody. All right. So I think some of you, and Rich, look at this. Oh, come on, Maul, look at this. It's the 31, baby. I'm representing the 31 right now. For those of you who are here for the first time, Harkins, yo! This is what I've always wanted to do. Talk to celebrities, talk to athletes, talk to musicians, talk to gamers, talk to YouTube people, talk to everybody. No, it's a knockoff, man. Harkins, it's a knockoff. There's not enough out there, man. I got to go to China to get... Looks like the connection's... Right now, the connection's going to fail? Oh, no way. All right, looks like we're okay. It looks good, man. If you get up really close, it's okay. But from here, I mean, it's RoboPens, man. That's all I care about. So I was saying I like to meet these people. I like to meet athletes, musicians, actors, everybody. And tonight's guest is, you guessed it, number 31. You saw the ads. You saw the invites. I'm going to bring him in right away. We're not even going to wait. I'm going to get this man in here and start this conversation right off the bat. Let's see if he's on, if everything's working tonight. It's only the second episode. Oh, there he is. Everybody split. On the money.
Hey, doing?
Doing all right? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
I can. So I think the test we did earlier, as long as we don't talk over each other, which I'm really bad at, I think the audio is going to be perfect. I was worried about it cutting out, but I think after talking to my tech team, which is me and Josh himself,
yeah,
as long as I can just shut up when you're talking, I think we're okay. So
do we do the over each time, like over and Roger? Would that help?
that might be the way to do it. Over.
We'll work on that over.
Yeah, Roger that. Over. So for those of you who don't know, I've been promoting the hell out of this because I'm a big fan, but this is Kenny Wregget, man. This is a Stanley Cup winner, played for almost 20 years with a couple teams, NHL, and I am super excited that he said yes to this. Kenny, I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you very much for having me. It's been a hot, long summer, and I'm enjoying being inside for a little cool air and talk to yourself and some fans along the way too, and just touch a base with Pittsburgh area.
It's awesome, man. We're big fans. So I'll get right into it, man. I'm not a professional hockey player. I'd love to know some of the things you were feeling throughout the years, especially being drafted to Toronto. I'm rocking my Toronto Wregget mustache today. I think it's pretty on point. Not as jazzy as yours, but it's pretty close. I got to know what it feels like to actually be drafted. What that feeling, and if it's draft day or if it's leading up, or can you tell me anything about that experience?
Yeah, it's back then. I was drafted in 1982, and back then it wasn't the big production that things are nowadays. Like everything's televised and all that fun stuff. And I was living in Lethbridge, Alberta. I was going to school still in high school, Winston Churchill High School. I was living with a billet family. I was 18 years old, and I was supposed to be drafted. And Ronnie and Richie Sutter were on our team, and Ronnie got drafted by Philly. And Richie,
Sutter fan, yeah, great.
Yeah, and Troy Loney as well.
Great.
Good friend of mine for all those years, and still is right now. And this is a great story. If you have time, do you have time?
I have all the time in the world, man.
Excellent. So
if you don't mind me doing this during.
No, not at all. So my billet family, Bruce and Bernice Redmond, I sitting down the night before having dinner with them, and I'm in Lethbridge. They didn't fly everybody out to your agent and all that fun stuff out to the rink and whatnot. And it was, we were sitting at home and we had school the next day. It was our first day of the first week of June, and so I was sitting there having dinner, and Bruce, Dad, he looks at me. He goes, everything aside, everything that's in the papers and guessing. He goes, what do you think's going to happen to you tomorrow being drafted? Do you think you'll get drafted? And I said, yeah, I do. I said, I think I'll get drafted.
Wow.
And, he said, what round do you think you'll go in, or where do you think you'll go in the draft? And I said, I think I'll go in the third round. And I said, the reason is, he asked me why. I said, the reason was, I said, a buddy from mine back home, he was drafted in the fifth round. And I said, I think I'm a better goaltender than he was. So I said, that was my reasoning. I can't remember the fellow's name offhand either. And he said, Bruce said, what team do you think you get drafted by? And I said, Toronto Maple Leafs. He kind of chuckled. He goes, and I was pretty confident in my answers to him, and he was surprised. He said, why do you think Toronto? And I said, well, way back in, I think it was grade 4 or 5, I was in history class, and I got detention. And so he was my history teacher, Donnie Hislop. He was running the detention hall as well. So as I went in after school to detention, my first time there, it might have been my only time. I'm not saying I was a saint either, but I managed to get away with things, I guess. But he introduced me to the detention class as the next famous goaltender for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And I said, Bruce, and that's why I think I'm getting drafted by Toronto. So he said, interesting. So I had dinner and all that, went to bed, got up next morning, have breakfast before he went to work and before I went off to school. And the phone rang. It was about 9:30, and Bernice answered the phone, and she had a big smile. She goes, Ken, it's for you. She goes, I think it's your agent's office. So I said, okay. So I grabbed the phone, and sure enough, it was. And it was the secretary there, and she gives me the news. So I go back and sit down at the breakfast table, and Bruce has got the smile on my face. He's looking at me. He goes, did you get drafted? And I go, yeah. He goes, what round did you get drafted? And I said, third round.
Oh,
got a chuckle, and he looks at me and goes,
Toronto.
Who drafted you, Toronto? And I go, yep. It all came to fruition. It was a good thinking or positive mojo at that point. But that was my draft day. And then went down to high school, and sure enough, we all met usually outside the principal's office. Had to check in with the principal before we went into class. And Ronnie and Richie and Troy were there, and a couple of the other guys. And to get drafted, you get drafted. And the first round guys got drafted, and I was lucky enough to get drafted too. And I was drafted in the third round. I think it was 45th overall or 43rd. And at that point, it was the first goalie in the NHL draft that I was drafted to. So I always use that as my little claim to fame. That's kind of a neat little stat. But that got started for me out of junior hockey into the NHL.
Too cool. I mean, you called it. I mean, you knew ahead of time. So if you jump ahead, 8 years to the '92 Cup? Again, I'll just leave it wide open. I mean, the feeling of, you described it perfectly, the feeling of being drafted, but then what about this cup, man? What about the '92 Cup? Can you tell me that?
Yeah, the cup was something else. I came in February along with Rick Dockett and Shell Samuelson, and I think in that trade with Philly was Paul Coffey, Mark, and I think the race to Yuri Curry with Los Angeles. It was a bigger trade than what we all seem to remember. But I came over, and I kind of had a little bit of wondering why I'm coming over. They just won the Stanley Cup with the three goalies that they still had. Wendell Young and Tommy Brasso, obviously, and then Wendell Young and Frankie Pietrangelo. And Frankie was the save guy back in when he got thrown into the playoffs. I can't remember who that was against. I think Minnesota. And so they had they won the cup that way. And then Craig Patrick felt that I was a piece of the puzzle that they perhaps may need coming down to win another cup. And I got 40 minutes in there, but Tommy, he was playing great right through the whole stint and of playoffs. And obviously you get traded to Pittsburgh. And I remember Rick Tocchet saying that he goes, it's like coming into an all-star dressing room. You got Mario, you got Yager, you got Stevens, you got Murphy. I mean, it was just unbelievable, the lineup they had. And, obviously Tommy Brasso as well. And, to have the opportunity to come into that kind of a lineup when they just won the Stanley Cup was something in itself. And it really, as the cup went on, as the games went on, it really realized that, although I was in a backup role, how important it was to be ready every single game in case he did get thrown in, because he didn't want to be that loose spoke on the wheel, that loose cog, and have everything wither because of that. So just the guys were super. They helped bring me along and help me understand that what at that level it's like to be a winner. I've won my share of trophies, through minor hockey, playing hockey, and actually in Lethbridge had the opportunity to go to the Memorial Cup. I was injured at that run, but unfortunately never played. That's a big thing I wish I would have had an opportunity to do, but you can't go back and look at that. But to be here in Pittsburgh in '92 and see the town, and obviously this is my home now too. Just fell in love with the city and fell in love with the people here. Great people and beautiful city, and my kids, all their friends are here, and my daughter was born here, and it's just home, and it's very fortunate, and that along the way you win the Stanley Cup, and that I'm sure has a big reason why I'm here as well.
That was my next question. Is you finished in Detroit, NHL career in Detroit? I just wondered if it was just red wasn't your color. You wanted to come back, but I mean, you kind of summed it up. I mean, why Pittsburgh in general? I mean, you touched on it for a second. What else kept you here, or kept you coming back?
Yeah, well, basically, it was. I think it was the people. I had a great group of neighbors. Still, really good friends with them to this day. My kids grew up with all the kids, and they're all getting married, and they're having grandkids. My kids are 28 and 30 now, and all the. It's hard to imagine because our kids now are the age that I was, and then my neighbors were Jim and Steve and Joe
Wow.
And they had about three Steves in there, and they've just been so wonderful, and their kids have been to me and my family, and all the way around. That when it came time to retire, it was one of two places, and that was Alberta. My dad was in the Canadian Air Force, looking at out around Calgary, and that was part of the reason I went to Calgary towards the end, towards after Pittsburgh, because I knew my years were a little bit limited, and that was kind of going home for me. Or go back to Toronto, and that's where my kid's mother was at the time, and she's from, and I love Toronto as well, but I'm not into the driving an hour and a half after work to get home and an hour off to hockey practice or dance practice, and I wanted to spend more time at home, and Pittsburgh just seemed to be the nice sized city, and uh, big enough and yet small enough, and checked a lot of boxes for me, and the people we're here, and the family values that I think all of us sometimes we take for granted that this city in Pennsylvania isn't, I think, should be known for, because it's very homey, very great atmosphere, and wonderful people around here. So I'm very, very happy to call this home.
Too cool. Well, we love having you. I mean, obviously, I'm wearing a 31 jersey here. I mean, geez. Did I hear your pads? I know your helmet's already in. Actually, I know this helmet. Isn't this already in the Hockey Hall of Fame? The DeVito
Yeah,
on the
Danny,
hall currently?
yeah, that's the one you went up there and broke his soul out of there, isn't it? Because that looks really darn good. But yeah,
Yeah.
that.
Got a shout out to my one of my friends is a great airbrusher, and I don't know if you can't see this whole room. You can kind of see behind me, but just a collector of all things, and especially kind of masks, helmets, collectibles in general. And I remember loving that mask when that movie was still popular, and seeing it. And my aunt is on here now. She gave me my first jersey back in the early '90s, and I swear it had to have been her who showed me, or showed me a clip back in then. It would probably be a newspaper clipping.
Yeah.
Oh, guy's helmet has the penguin on it, and I'm like, I don't understand. How is that possible? There's hockey plus Batman, and I was hooked. So yeah, I asked my buddy to airbrush, and I did kind of the rest, some painting and vinyl decals and such. But yeah, it's a great addition to this room. And those of you who don't know, I got to see Ken a couple times and had some things signed. Actually made the old Kenny Wregget starting lineup figure, which he was cool enough to sign. And I was able to get you that newspaper clipping of that Islanders game, I think it was, the away game that you described turned into a home game the longer it went on, right? A lot of Islanders fans left, and the Penguins fans kind of filtered down against the glass and got to watch, an overtime win, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, that I don't quite remember the year, but you're thinking not the Islanders, but you're thinking of the Washington
Oh,
Capitals.
Capitals, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the 94-95 season. I believe. But yeah, the Capitals went into 4 overtimes. Joey Juneau had the penalty shot in overtime, and that was the first time a penalty shot had been awarded in the history of the NHL.
Wow.
Yeah, and I didn't know that at the time. Someone, I think one of the media guys had mentioned that to me after the game doing interviews, and at that point it doesn't even sink in. You're just really happy you won
Right.
it. The game, the series at that point was 2 games to 1 for the Capitals, and had we lost that game, it would have been 3-1, and that's a really tough one to come back from. And we're able to tie it up 2-2, and then go on and win that, and then go up against the Rangers right after that. And that's when we lost to Colorado in the conference finals before Colorado, or not Colorado, Florida, before Florida went off to play. I think it was Colorado for the Cup. And
Okay.
if I'm correct, but
Sure.
no, on our side of the conference we are. But yeah, that was crazy, and that particular mask as well, that is in the Hall of Fame. I always had that SK 600 helmet and cage, and it wasn't. I was just kind of adjusting to mask at that point, mask with the cage, because it wasn't overly comfortable. And
Right.
if anybody that has a mask and the cage, or not the helmet, the cage, but the mask, the full mask, it probably weighs 3 times that helmet I wore weighs.
Right.
So, and for me, I don't know why, but it was a hard time for me adjusting. And they made that helmet was from someplace in Denmark, and it was really lightweight, and it's not. I think it
Okay.
was approved. It's kind of on the flimsy side. It wouldn't pass any standards at this point. And the Batman theme came on because Michael Keaton was Batman. He's from Pittsburgh, and the guy
Sure.
says, "Great idea. What do you think?" And I was like, I'm thinking of the helmet or the mask. I don't even really want to wear it.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm not really a graphic designer, but yeah, if we come up with that one, he goes, we got to have something on there that you like. So on the
Cool.
back head plate, he made a Matt. And then my son's name is Matthew, so it was Matt. And I always kid around with my daughter. Her name's Courtney, and I used to call her 2 dimes a nickel for a quarter all the time. So we put that on the back of that.
Cool.
Kind of neat. But and that thing, I think about every Halloween, it always ranks in the top 10 or the top 3 anyway, with the scariest Halloween masks in the NHL. This is always fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Kids that get down and get to see it at the Hockey Hall of Fame. It's bringing a lot of joy out there. So it ended up being an icon thing. So it's I guess that's my making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Second place might be. I think it was Lalim had the 2 eyeballs, right? I think he had the 2 eyes up top.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really just a lot of yellow and black and logos and text. But I mean, yeah, those couples stand out like crazy. And
Yeah.
halfway into making the next one. So we're still at the base coat, but there'll be another one. I believe it's going to grace your bar at some point here.
Beautiful. We
This
love
one,
it. Forward to it.
I wonder if these years check out. I found this like 3 days ago.
Oh, that's one of the hockey tickets, 94 or 93?
94, yeah. So I found like a sheet of them.
Yeah.
I'm kind of walking past it, and it was like 2 days ago. I'm like, wow, the universe is telling me that I think this interview is going to go just fine.
Yeah.
Wregget tickets out there from, how many years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, so here's I don't know how far this debate goes or discussion or what have you, but I know I'm a big jersey guy. I have probably 20, 30 jerseys, hockey, baseball, football. But this penguin, which they've nicknamed the Robo Penguin or the Skating Penguin, do you have a preference? I personally have the Robo Penguin is deep-seated in my past. That's kind of where I got into it, and I still love this jersey and that gradient jersey are just like, that is my hockey background. So I wondered if you had a favorite, either A or B logo, and then if you had a jersey that stood out over the years, whether it was back in your time or if it's something modern.
Yeah, no, that's the jerseys. That's quite a story. And one thing I've learned through living here in Pittsburgh, I've been retired now 20 years, and when I won the cup back in, I was part of the cup winning team. It was the second cup, and that was 30 years ago, 1992. And to hear the stories from a buddy Dan, that he and I were in rehab together, cardio rehab, when we both had our hearts worked on a little bit, and his aunt was part of the originating fan club for the Hornets back in '48, and he showed me all these pictures and scrapbooks of hockey coming along. And my favorite jersey is And Dwayne Ruppy, a good buddy of mine in the Penguin alumni, is back in the 72, in 68 to 72, I think it was the blue and white jerseys. Those are my favorite ones. I like the round logo Pittsburgh one. That one was cool as well. You get a lot.
Oh, your audio. Hold on one second. Your audio cut out.
Yep. Is that okay now?
Yeah.
So, and then, but mine is the Pittsburgh, the black Pittsburgh across the chest. That.
Oh, yeah, the diagonal.
The diagonal one, yeah. So, but that was kind of with that
older one. I had a retro jersey, but I saw they just brought the diagonal text back. You can go and get a brand new diagonal text jersey. I'm like, I'm back in. I mean, how many years ago was that where they discontinued? Because I thought it was. I saw a great picture. I think it was was it Mario, Ronnie, and I don't know if it was Joe Mullen or Yager, but it was like everyone was holding the puck with their how many goals they got, and they had 3 different jerseys. And it was this one, the diagonal, and then the gradient. And I'm like, that had to have been just the best year for Penguins jerseys maybe ever. So if you, based on what you said, did you love all the outdoor series or the Winter Classic? Then they brought back like the blue with the circle logo and everything. Were you a big fan of that?
Yeah, I did. But a lot of people didn't like that jersey. Like I'm a big black and yellow fan for Pittsburgh.
Sure.
If I'm not mistaken, I heard a stat that in all those professional sports in the world, this is the only city where all the teams are.
Oh, yep.
And that's amazing in itself. So me saying I like the blue, I mean I like the blue. That's one of my favorite colors. But as far as black and gold is, and here in Pittsburgh, I mean that's Pittsburgh through and through. And
yep.
the different style jerseys, I think they're all classic, and I just love them all. I think it's cool as heck to be part of this city with the sports teams all black and yellow like that. No one else can say that.
A couple years ago, and I guess I never really put it together. And yeah, it sure is. Maybe Pirates have a little bit of red. Maybe the Penguins have a little bit of blue. But yeah, it's everything's black and yellow. I mean, it's even worked its way into my personal wardrobe. If I have a shirt, it's black and yellow. I'm not going to wear blue. I'm not going to wear red. It's something black, white, or yellow pretty much all the time.
Yeah. Or if you see that someone has a nice car and they have an orange car driving by, you're going, you're from Ohio. You're not from around here.
Yeah, that's nice. So if you're cool with it, I have a kind of a lightning round to wrap us up, and it's categories of food, movies, and feeling good. So which category would you like first?
Got to go food.
Yeah, do. First question: Chips Ahoy or Oreos?
Oreos.
Yeah.
Oreos. Yeah, all the way Oreos. You put them in a milkshake, a nice like a frappuccino type of thing at home, and with milk and some vanilla. And yeah, I'm a big Oreo fan. Huge.
I like it. All right, burgers or dogs?
I like my dogs. I'm a big burger fan at the bar. We have great burgers and take pride in that. But there's nothing better than going down to the ball game and having a hot dog. It's just
dog and a beer.
One of the best summertime things. Yeah, for me.
I get it. How do you order your pizza? What's your pizza?
My pizza would be pepperoni with green pepper and onions with some hot pepper sprinkled on them, and maybe some banana peppers as well. And I'm a big fan of Hawaiian, which is ham and pineapple, and I call it Canadian Hawaiian with a little bit of onion on there as well.
Okay. Well, you're dead to me because you said Hawaiian pizza. So this interview's over. I can't have it. No, I grew up in New York, so it's like no toppings, flat, and that's it. But all right. So next category is movies. What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Ooh, favorite Christmas movie.
Die Hard counts. Gremlins counts. I'm in that camp.
I gotta go Chevy Chase with Christmas Vacation. That always ranks up there. And I know there's a lot of really good Christmas movies out there. Some of the older ones, and the old Peanuts ones are good too.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie in your heart?
It absolutely is. Yeah, anything with a Christmas tree in it is a Christmas movie, no doubt. Yep. Could be July. It's a Christmas movie.
Oh, I love it. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Trek all the way. Huge Trekkie. I tried sitting down watching Star Wars, and I've had many debates with Star Wars fans, and I've tried to watch it, but I was just weaned on Star Trek, and I just can't get over it. And But to me, that's a great. But I'm a huge sci-fi guy too, so I will watch Star Wars as well.
This room is full of Star Wars stuff, and I have one William Shatner picture, and I think that's it.
Yeah, I got you.
Or Star Wars tattoos, Star Wars toys, costumes, all that stuff. But hey, that's why we're asking. What's your favorite guilty pleasure movie? So whether it's a sappy romance, or is there a movie you love, maybe you're not really going to tell people that often about?
Guilty sappy movie.
Yeah, I love the movie 27 Dresses. I said this last episode too. I just love it. I can't get over it. And I don't know if I ever really hit it, but I'm not going to run around going, you know what's great? The movie about the dresses. That is a great movie.
Yeah, yeah.
But good. It's a good movie. So is, Devil Wears Prada. I love that movie. But
Yeah. No, I found myself softening up as I got older here and watching movies with the kids, and I'm gonna have to get back to you on a couple of movies because I know I got some good ones. It's just not coming to mind right now.
Sure. The Feel Good sections. First question: what was your favorite actor growing up, or now? Either way.
Big Clint Eastwood fan. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and Sam Elliott always, his mustache always, it was pretty cool.
What about favorite childhood toy?
Oh, G.I. Joe. Gotta go G.I. Joe. And as a collector, you gotta appreciate that one.
Absolutely. I was of the little 3-inch generation, but I'm guessing you were a 12-inch guy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You get a new pair of shoes, you'd get the scissors out, and you'd cut that box up to make a car, tie it behind your bike with a hockey cart in the spokes. Man. Around the block you went with your brother and try not to get in a fist fight to see who won.
Put the cards in your spokes too to make it sound like a motorcycle?
Yeah, you wouldn't imagine that. I can't even think of how these collector cars ended up in our spokes and what they would have meant to me today. But yeah, we had them all in there. Yeah.
Too cool. As a kid, what was your perfect Saturday night then?
My perfect Saturday night was probably this. I'm going to go hockey night in Canada.
Nice.
I remember my dad was in the Air Force. I remember this is a good story too, hockey story. We were sitting in Greenwood, Nova Scotia, watching Hockey Night in Canada, and Toronto and Montreal were playing. And the camera was panning down the bench. And I said to my dad, I said, who's that guy sitting at the end of the bench with a towel around his neck? And Dad goes, that's the backup goalie. Like, oh. I looked about a couple minutes later, looked over at him, and I go, does he get paid?
That's the job.
Yeah, I think so. And a couple minutes after that, I said, I think I want to be a backup goalie.
Oh,
so
the
story is careful what you wish for.
Yeah, right. I want to ask Barrasso about that. So what is your perfect Saturday night now?
Perfect Saturday now would be sitting around with the loved ones, the kids, and my gal, and just relaxing, watching TV, and or sitting on the deck in the summer here and telling stories with our dog. We have a white shepherd. She's turning 9 now. She's a rescue, and just hanging and appreciate everybody, just having a good conversation and enjoying the togetherness and the love, I guess.
Sure, absolutely, makes sense. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah.
I'm gonna probably do it, man. Did you want to talk about the bar? I mean, there's a lot of people watching from around Pittsburgh. I'd love for everybody to know what you're up to.
Yeah, we have a bar out in Bridgeville, Collier Township, 31 Sports Bar and Grill. We've had it now 9 years. It's been we've managed to get through COVID as best we can. We're still working hard on making ourselves better and being everything you could want and come out and have a restaurant. We're trying to make our food as best we can. Our wings are really good. The burgers are good. The salads are good. We're trying to get more into a restaurant type of atmosphere. We support local music, and we have some really good bands that come up and play Friday, Saturday through the weekends and on the summers here up on the deck. We have a 3,600 square foot deck. We sometimes have acoustics on Thursday and Sunday afternoons, and we have a cornhole pit out back too. If you like enjoying doing that on the day, we have about 2/3 of it covered right now for the rain and if it gets too hot in the sun and stuff. And we just booked a really nice band for New Year's Eve, and we're looking for some really good sporting events. And we're going to work. I think we might work with Mark Madden coming up for our hockey and football and seasons, like sporting events coming up. So if you're ever in the area, drop by, check us out on Facebook, and and Instagram and all that fun stuff. We'd love to see you down there. I'm down there quite a bit, and come tell me a story, and I'd be happy to meet you if you're around.
Cool. Sounds good, man. Well, I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I always ask for like 10 minutes. I could sit here all night and talk. So honestly, but I'll let you go. I know you got a jet, but again, thanks very much. And I'll talk to you soon.
Chris, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. I'd like to say hi to all the folks out in Pittsburgh area. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks, Ken.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
We'll see you.